Well, the Department of Justice and the FBI are vowing to investigate the apparent suicide of accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. The news of the millionaire's death shocking the world and launching conspiracy theories on how he was able to, commit suicide in federal custody. Where does the case go from here, in particular for the victims? Let's bring in with some expert insight, attorney Misty Marris. Misty, good morning.
Good morning.
You know, we've already heard now through the media reports that several civil lawsuits are going to be filed, probably starting today, by some of the lawyers representing the victims. They're using this new New York law that goes into effect basically on Wednesday that says that you can, up to a year, you can file a civil lawsuit against somebody suspected of abusing you. That's going to be big for these girls.
It's going to be huge for these girls because now that Jeffrey Epstein is dead, they're not going to have the opportunity to see him be prosecuted, to spend any time behind bars. So now the remedy is a civil remedy. As you said, there's a New York law in effect that extends statute of limitations essentially to allow them to bring these cases. So a lot of facts going to come out during that. Look, Epstein will not be there, but all of the documentary evidence we've seen come out from other cases, other testimony from other potential victims, that's all going to be relevant in these civil suits. So hopefully there will be some sense of justice in prosecuting those.
On the criminal side, we don't know what the Manhattan DA's office is planning, but they say they are going to continue the investigation. They made that statement over the weekend. So what does that mean for, like, Ghislaine Maxwell, his British socialite companion, who has already been named in several civil lawsuits? Do you potentially see more criminal charges coming up against him, or maybe some of the rich and powerful that have now been named? It's a big list.
Yeah, it's a big list. And as you said, there's been implications in civil suits. There's going to be criminal investigations now. We have a lot more information that comes out through the civil lawsuits. That's what we saw happen with Bill Cosby. If you remember, he was prosecuted because information came out from a civil lawsuit. So certainly I think you're going to see more criminal investigations. Look, Epstein was the big fish. There had been alleged co-conspirators for years and years and years. Right. Now there's going to be a hardline prosecution to seek justice for these women who have been deprived of prosecuting Epstein.
That's why we saw so many crazy conspiracy theories come out over the weekend that I'm not even going to go into. But I really quick want to ask you about the FBI, the DOJ, William Barr coming out immediately and saying that he wants an investigation into MCC. He was off suicide watch, but he was supposed to have a cellmate. He was supposed to be checked every 30 minutes. The guards were working massive overtime. None of that happened.
As the facts came out, Cheryl, I was absolutely shocked at the way MCC handled this. It's unbelievable. This was clearly a person that had tried to attempt suicide and someone that should have been at high risk for suicide attempts. Every factor about the MCC oversight of Epstein is beyond disappointing. And honestly, it borders on recklessness and negligence. And we could see some accountability on behalf of the prison as that investigation unfolds.
Bill Barr apparently getting updates every 3 hours yesterday on this. Misty Marris, thank you so much, Misty.
Thank you.
We're covering.